All right, so today I am at the Wonders of Wildlife Aquarium, an absolutely insane facility here in Springfield, Missouri. Somewhere I've been a bunch of times before. I've hosted Conservation Week, and every time I've come here, people have said, man, I'd love to see what that place looks like. So come with me. We're gonna go and meet an old buddy of mine, Mike. He's the director of animal care here. He's giving us a super special behind-the-scenes look at Wonders of Wildlife and all of their incredible creatures. It's gonna be really fun.
Hey,
how are you, man?
How are you?
Good to see you.
So glad you made it.
Every time. I love coming here, you know that.
Fantastic.
I'm excited to show people what your aquarium's all about, some of the stuff you guys do, get a little behind the scenes info from you. So
awesome.
Yeah, let's do it. Lead the
Sounds
way.
good. Let's go check it out, man.
All right. How about this big old sardine tank?
Yeah, so these guys are false pilchards from down in the Florida Keys.
Oh, cool.
There's close to 20,000 of these false pilchards in here right now. It's cool that you get to see that natural behavior, that schooling behavior here. And it's sometimes during the day, all 20,000 of these fish will be compressed down to the lower third of this exhibit.
Oh, interesting.
And you think, man, there's not enough fish in here.
Yeah.
And next time you come around the corner, they're spread out into this giant whirlwind of silver. They're amazing.
So one of my favorite things about this aquarium, Mike, and just everything that you guys do and Johnny Morris Foundation stuff, it's the only aquarium and conservation center, certainly in America, that's dedicated to sportsmen. I think one of the other things that's so cool, just like going to a Bass Pro Shop, is like the dioramas and displays that you have everywhere, from white sharks and seals to, you know, all of the game fish on the walls.
I would challenge anyone to find a more immersive experience than these types of environments that Johnny Morris puts together.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is just like, it's gargantuan. There's a full Viking in here. It's like a $500,000 boat just on display because it's just so cool. With the yellowfin, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Let's skip around the corner here and up to some of our other exhibits.
Sounds great.
All right, Forrest, here we are. Come to our Marvels Gallery.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is our Japanese spider crab exhibit.
So cool.
And I know we've talked before, and you've told me that you have a serious interest in some of these really cool deep sea animals.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in addition to our Japanese spider crabs, we have giant isopods.
Oh, look at the size. He's huge. I didn't realize they were that big. Whoa, look at this thing. Look at this. That is a face hugger. Look at that thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. What an insane organism. Oh yeah, those are serious mandibles on there. Yeah. Mike, this is amazing. Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. So like other crustaceans, they have that hard exoskeleton.
Yeah.
They have 14 articulating legs and 2 sets of antennae, short and long, for exploring and for tasting their environment.
And it fully scavengers, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they will sometimes find other crabs and other benthic crustaceans in the deep to eat.
Okay.
But they are excellent scavengers.
So they will predate upon little things that they can. Oh, and they can move. I didn't realize they had like that much mobility.
On the back here, underneath their body, on their abdomen, they're called pleopods.
Okay.
Not only are they a swimming appendage, they also breathe through those.
Which is the pleopod?
These are the pleopods here.
Oh, like the swimmers on a lobster.
Very similar.
Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
And so not only do they take in oxygen through these appendages, they're also swimming appendages. So it's how they move around, and they're very good at moving when they want to.
I mean, this is as alien as organisms get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's a living creature. Look at that.
And the amazing thing is we don't know much about them because they live at insane depths,
right.
thousands and thousands of feet deep. And they're very, very hard to study.
Yeah,
so we don't know much about this animal.
What is their range? Like, what's their depth range?
So these animals can be found 4,000 or 5,000 feet deep, no problem.
Wow.
They are incredibly hardy. They are some of the most remarkable animals that you'll find on the bottom of the ocean. Right there.
Look at that. Look at that thing. That is wild.
One of the things that I think is pretty cool about this animal and some other benthic animals is they have this phenomenon that's called deep sea or benthic gigantism. So these animals are so large compared to their terrestrial co-parts or their other marine animals.
Right.
But no one really knows why do they get this big.
Especially because there's limited resources in the deep sea.
Exactly.
It's like the opposite of insular dwarfism, right? Like islands where everything gets smaller, this is like deep sea gigantism. I didn't even know that was a term.
Absolutely.
So,
and so there are 2 theories. One is that larger animals tend to be more efficient. So because of those limited resources, perhaps that leads to them evolving in this way. The other issue, or the other theory, is that because it's so cold at those depths, it leads to larger animals in general. A lot of cold environments produce a lot of larger animals.
Hadn't thought of that. That makes sense though. Yeah.
But the truth is, we don't know.
This is unbelievable. Like, what a cool thing for people to get to see and for me to get to experience, to hold a giant deep sea ice pod.
All right, well, let's go check out some more cool stuff, man.
Yeah, this is amazing. All right, so this is the shipwreck room.
That's right.
I've now shot here for History Channel. I've also shot here for Discovery Shark Week. Tell me about it. There's a story behind the shipwreck, right?
Yeah, so there's an artificial reef in off the panhandle of Florida that Johnny Morse was a part of commissioning. And this room sort of tells the story of artificial reefs and the roles that they can play in our environment.
Right.
You know as well as most, the ocean for the most part is like a vast desert. You have these oases though of life.
Right.
And in places where that may not exist naturally at different times, maybe it's due to human impact, maybe it's weather, maybe it's an area that can benefit by having an artificial reef that attracts life, brings divers in, brings sporting opportunities in, and can just be a real asset.
Acts as a FAD, right? A fish aggregating device or area. Yeah. I see you've got some terribly invasive lionfish over here.
That's right.
Yeah.
We love to hate them.
Yeah, but they're so pretty. I mean, when you see them in like the Indian Ocean, it's such a treat. You're like, oh my God, look at this beautiful fish. Get a video of it. Then you go to Florida and they're on every reef. And there's 12 of them, and you just want to like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And every dive shop has lionfish roundups.
I know. It's great.
They're looking for people, but they're beautiful animals.
Have you eaten it?
I have.
It's good.
I love it. It's
really
delicious.
good.
White
yeah.
meat.
I know. I'd be stoked to shoot that one. That one's a tank. Yeah. No, that's super cool. And I suppose that's what you're talking about here?
That's right. This is actually one of my favorite infographics in the entire facility.
Okay.
With the story about how the spines work and how they envenomate potential predators or folks to get their hands on them. Their natural region and the story about the impact.
Look at this. Look at the school of dogtooth tuna. Okay, I'd pay all my monies to be swimming in a school of dogtooth tuna like that, and they just put this up like this diorama, like everything's so beautifully decorated with the coral, and like you don't get this in other aquariums. You don't have all this in other aquariums.
You get the hammerhead schooling up here above you.
Look at that, chasing the rainbow runners. It's amazing.
All right, Forrest, welcome to the Amazon. Again, you're sucked into it. Everything around you is this lush, amazing rainforest.
Podocnemus uniphilus, yellow-headed Amazon river turtle, mata mata. You know I'm a reptile nerd. Like,
I know.
That's bigger for me.
You were telling me about your turtles.
Yeah, I have one of these at home. I don't have mata matas, but I have a podoc. And that discus tank, I have a discus tank, it's 55 gallons. It doesn't quite compare to this. I mean, look at the plant growth in that.
These planted tanks are some of my all-time favorite. Our team does an amazing job.
That's so hard to do. I don't think people understand how hard it is to maintain aquarium plants like that.
Absolutely. You're playing with chemistries. You've got to get your phosphates right, your ammonia's right, your oxygen, your CO2 has to be right.
I think this exact exhibit is probably my favorite one. Just the planted tanks. This is why I love freshwater tanks so much. And then I saw over here, this is the South American arowana.
I believe that's correct.
And that's the Asian arowana, right?
Yes.
So I've never seen the two. I knew that just because of the different tail morphologies. Look here, you see how you've got this sharp tail versus the big paddle tail? I've known that from like books and videos and stuff. I've never seen them side by side before. It's pretty amazing, like that convergent evolution of arowanas where just somebody basically hit a button is like, nah, this guy's gonna get a pointy tail.
Yeah, right.
Like, boom, everything else is like exactly the same.
Right, and what in their history, what in their environment made that beneficial?
Right, there was a reason, obviously,
It is, it's remarkable.
A lot of people don't know this, but this is what you call a dragon arowana, right, when they get the red. That fish in the hobbyist trade is worth probably $40,000 or $50,000. You guys have obviously had it a long time, grown it up and stuff, but to get, I think it's called a blood dragon arowana, is like a $50,000 fish and illegal to have in the United States for some reason. So you've got these big Oscars down here. You know this. You go down to the Everglades. You can't look in a puddle of water without seeing these guys.
That's right.
You know, and they're Central American. Is that right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they're beautiful in the pet trade. People love having them.
Yeah.
They start out small and quirky and full of personality.
So much personality.
And next thing you know, they're that big and they're wreaking havoc.
Crazy.
And people, unfortunately, will dump them into the wild.
Yeah, the Oscars are crazy. I mean, Oscars, Plecostomus, I see peacock bass back there. Piranhas have been found in the United States. It's crazy. Right. It's
everything
unbelievable.
invasive. So we've got a couple of really cool things set up for you.
Okay.
One of them is one of my favorite South American animals. And Josh is going to introduce you. to a really amazing Orinoco crocodile.
Ooh, hey Josh, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. Mike says we got something fun to do with the little Orinoco here. What's the plan?
Yeah, this is Guy, the Orinoco crocodile, and we're
Okay.
going to catch him up today and just take a closer look at him and talk about why we have him here.
Sure, that'll be cool. I've never got to hold an Orinoco before, so that'll be super sweet. Well,
Yeah, awesome.
Let's go. Let's do it. He says, no, not this again. There we go. All right. Well, this is cool. So this isn't Hugo, you were saying. This is somebody else.
Yeah, this one's name is Guy. We
Guy.
do have two.
Where's
Orinoco.
Hugo?
Hugo's in a separate tank we have in the back.
They don't like each other?
They do not like each other. No, we got them at separate times, and when we tried to put them together, they were territorial and it didn't last.
Let's check them out. I'm
Ready to get 'em out
excited.
there?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, buddy. Look at you. Look at that. He's lovely. Look at those funny little teeth. He's pretty chill. He obviously gets handled quite a lot.
He is just used to the public walking
Yeah,
by,
yeah.
and I think he's fairly desensitized to the way that our routine is.
I mean, there's like no hissing, no huffing or puffing. He's just sort of hanging out here. Yeah, he's lovely. Look at these eyes. Come get a nice shot of these eyes right here. Look how clear they are. So tell me more about Orinoco. So basically all I know is their population was down to several hundred. Not even, right? It's like 60 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know the exact number, but it wasn't very many.
I think it was down to like 60 if I'm not mistaken. And then this group of Venezuelan farmers who had nothing because Venezuela was under dire circumstances were like, oh, we're gonna save them, and grabbed some and stuck them in a pond and started breeding them. And they've all bounced back from that one little program, right?
Yeah, it's my understanding that they were raising livestock at the time and had the land space to take the opportunity to work on some conservation projects as well.
That's so
and
cool.
Orinoco's were the first one, and they've expanded from there. But these guys are still critically endangered.
Yep.
And the reason we have these two, they're actually part of a Head Start program that's being run by Dallas World Aquarium. The project is called Back to the Llanos, and that's a reference to the plains habitat.
Llanos Plains,
yeah,
right?
you got it.
A Head Start program works like this. You hatch babies, but then you keep the babies until they get to a certain size, a size like this, because a baby, a newborn crocodilian, has maybe a 10% survival rate in the wild, where once they're 2 or 3 years old, how old is this guy?
He's 2.5.
2.5 years old, their chance of survival goes up to like 80%. So for a critically endangered species like the Orinoco crocodile, a Head Starter program at great facilities like this does a couple things. One, it grows them up. Two, it lets people learn about these very, very cool critically endangered animals. And three, it directly contributes to the conservation of the species. So, programs like this are essential to save these animals. And, if you think that all started from a group of farmers who had a passion to try and, because they saw these animals disappearing and had a passion to try and save them in their cattle ponds, it's a pretty remarkable success story. And the nice thing about crocodilians, at least for the most part, they breed easily and readily. And if programs like this continue in the next 10 or 15 years, the critically endangered status will probably be removed. Awesome. Well, this has been a real treat for me. Never got to hold an Orinoco before. That's a big bucket lister. And where's he going? Back on display?
Yep, we'll put him back on exhibit.
All right, buddy. You're going to go back. Ready?
Ready.
All right. That was super cool. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a once-off for me. That's awesome. That was rad. There he goes. See you, buddy. He says, that was a weird day. All right, well, that was super cool. Let's see if we can track down Mike and keep going. Mike, that was awesome, dude.
How
Thank
amazing
you,
is
dude.
that?
Thank
Oh,
you
dude.
so much.
I love that animal.
Dude, it's so cool.
And that Back to Llanos project, getting those Orinocos
Yep.
from the zoological world back into the wild.
It's amazing.
We're so excited to be a part of it.
Wow, there are some fat bass in here. Holy
Hey.
crap. Look at that thing.
Lunker Lake.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if you were a bass fisherman and you reeled that in, you would freak out.
It'd be a great day.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a blue cat, right?
Yeah, big blue cat.
Holy smokes. I've never caught a big blue catfish.
They're huge.
I need to do
They're
that.
monstrously strong.
Yeah, I've heard. I really need to make that a priority.
We've got lake sturgeon and white sturgeon in here.
This whole place, dude. You must never get bored of it, right?
How could you?
Yeah, how could you?
There's something around every corner.
There
There's
really
something to
is.
see. There's something to do. And with all these animals, something always needs a little bit of attention. Check out this little guy. You talked about snapping
Oh, yeah,
turtles.
look at that alligator
Look at-
snapper.
look
I
at
didn't even
this
see
little
him there.
cutie. This little snapper was a part of our ambassador program. It was
Okay.
teaching children about this animal and this
Uh-huh.
species, but started to get a little bit big,
Yep.
and we decided that she would make an excellent part of this exhibit to teach our guests
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah.
So she's
Native
got
species.
a huge, massive home.
She's gonna get monstrous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna be eating those walleye in no time. Yeah. Oh, we got some
we go.
jellies over
Jellies.
here. Everybody loves jellies, and you're
Jellies.
building a big jelly facility, right?
We are. We're gonna have one of the largest jelly exhibits in North America, right here at Wonders of Wildlife.
Awesome.
And these guys are gonna be the star of the show.
Yeah, the sea nettles.
Yep, these are the South American sea nettle.
Okay.
They get to be almost 2 feet bell diameter.
Do they really? They get that big?
huge.
Holy crap.
And feeding tentacles, they can be almost 6 feet long.
Oh, wow.
So we have these just beautiful shapes and colors.
Yeah.
I always think of these guys as like living art.
They really are. Oh, they absolutely are.
So here's one of our larger exhibits here
Yeah.
with these amazing sand tigers and sandbar sharks.
Beautiful. You got a little algae growth down there.
You know, we may have to do something about that at some point,
Yeah.
but thanks for pointing out. Really
I mean, no
appreciate it.
disrespect. I'm just saying, there's a little bit. I mean, no disrespect. No, this tank's amazing though. The big raggies. Look at the rays. Are those whiptail? No, what
These
are
are
those?
both southern
Southern
rays.
stingray.
That's
Yeah.
right. And these beautiful big Goliath grouper.
I had one of these to try and eat my leg once.
I don't
was
doubt it.
spear fishing. I was coming up from a dive and took my whole fin and leg and put it in its mouth, and then I like hit it with my spear gun, the back end of it, and it like panicked.
They are feisty.
Crazy
And
fish.
this exhibit is also unique to us here because we have the only Sea Trek experience, and that's a partnership to do some underwater diving experiences
Okay.
in a shark cage. Our guests get to come here in the middle of the U.S., in Missouri,
Right. And go for a shark
do
dive.
a shark dive experience
great.
here at Wonders of Wildlife.
What a cool exhibit.
So here's another one of my favorite exhibits. This is our live coral.
To
And
me, this is the second, maybe runner-up, maybe other competitor versus that discus planted tank. Like if I had to have one in my living room, that's a pretty close second.
it's striking. Talk about living art. The shapes, the colors, the textures.
People don't understand how hard it is to get this to live. Like the amount of time and energy and light balance and protein and current and wave maker, like that is so impressive that you have these things living like this.
A lot of love and blood, sweat, and tears go into this exhibit.
Yeah, to me this is definitely the other competitor with that planted discus tank. Beautiful. So my mother says I'm a cretin, right? Because I have no interest in art, I have no interest in music, I have no interest in cinema. The only thing I really care about is wildlife and animals. This is art, okay? Animals make music. You know, this
Absolutely.
is art. Look at these unbelievable shells. Look at that, what do you call it, an olive?
Oh, these guys, I believe.
Sea
I'm not
olive, I
100%
think?
sure.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
there's so many of these different shells, and
unbelievable.
I don't know what a
No,
lot of these are.
there's thousands.
They're beautiful. There's
Yeah.
so many. People make their entire career studying this one group.
I know,
of
yeah.
invertebrates.
Just abalone or just
Yeah.
cowries or whatever. Yeah, unbelievable. I love the shells.
But I think it's
Shells are
cool you
amazing.
mentioned that the art. This
It is art. It's
this,
art.
This area we call our Marvels Gallery.
Okay.
Because it's full of these marvels of
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah. Oh, no question. These are real marbles. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to go with that, though, we've got a couple other really cool things set up that
Okay.
we'd like to show you for you to share with your fans out there.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so this is Brianna, and Brianna today has some important work to do, which is
We are doing a part of our annual physical on Rocky, our stingray, our giant whiptail in here. He is going to be getting weighed and he is going to be getting measured.
And so in order to do that, you've moved him off exhibit into this sort of containment area.
Correct.
He's target trained, I presume.
Correct.
Yeah, so he's come to the target. Now, this is a Mekong giant ray, right?
Correct.
So it's the largest species of freshwater fish in the world. They get up to 600 pounds. He's not 600 pounds.
No.
What's he weigh? I guess we're going to find out, but what's he weigh about?
It was about 140 pounds at his last
140 pounds. How do you get a 140 pound stingray from there to there?
So currently he is being target trained to come into a giant stretcher that we have over there that we'll see in a minute. So he comes up to it, and in theory we would be able to scoop him up. He's kind of new to the stretcher training, so my team is gonna try that out first.
Yep.
And then if that doesn't work and he's not feeling it, I'm gonna get in and I'm going to coax him into it.
Let's do it. This is actually one of my dream species to catch in the wild. Not one this size, but one that's 400, 500 pounds to actually go angle for in the Mekong River. I think would be absolutely fantastic. Here we go. Watch that barb there. There we go, we got him, look at that. Yeah, that is a big old stingray, look at that. You guys wanna put him down?
So you can get the weight? In there.
Hey, buddy. He smells weird. I wasn't expecting that. Doesn't smell like a normal shark or ray.
Alright, I've got 250 centimeters for total length.
Brianna incoming.
Did we get the weight?
Yeah.
What was the weight?
160.
160 pound ray.
63.5.
There he goes. It's probably pretty spicy after that. Well, that was quick, you guys. Well done. That was like Stingray, like NASCAR pit crew over here. That was pretty neat. How old is Rocky? Do you know, Holly?
He's about almost 18 years old.
18 years old. Okay, so that's amazing. If you think he's 18 years old and he's a quarter the size that they're capable of getting to. I mean, that's pretty remarkable, all things considered. Less than a quarter. They can get over 600 pounds. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you guys. That was awesome. I've never got to see a Mekong giant ray before, so that was really, really neat. So, yeah, can't wait to see what's next.
This is walking into the mangroves.
I like this one a lot. Mangroves. Mangroves are sweet. Look at this. Look at this sawfish. That's what you need to get, one like that alive.
Wow.
Oh, I bet you want one.
It would be remarkable.
Yeah, look at that.
I've been lucky to work with sawfish in the past. And they're one of my favorite animals to work with.
I remember you telling me that. I'm so jealous. I've seen some little ones, but never anything like that. Little cardinal fish.
Yeah, and some seahorses and cardinals.
This
is
tank.
like our mangrove forest right here, our mangrove exhibit.
It's a nice hog.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
another
nice
tasty
hog.
fish.
Yeah. I just look at this and I'm just thinking about dinner the whole time. Those are some good bonefish.
These
too.
are dream bonefish.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are insane. They're so big.
And this is like literally all your biggest, best inshore species. You got redfish, bonefish, snook. There's a big black drum over there.
That's right.
I mean, this is as good as it gets.
Don't leave out our grouper over
Look
here.
at
He'll get
that
his feelings
thumper.
hurt.
That is a huge black grouper. Just this whole tank. I love this tank. Look at the barbels on the drum. They cool, grumpy looking fish. Yeah, this is a great tank.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. You know, it's kind of crazy though. Our facility opened almost 15 years before today. And in a first version, it was a much smaller aquarium. It mostly just highlighted native species with one saltwater exhibit that
Oh,
was
I didn't
large.
know that.
And then it shut down for 10 years. It went through this metamorphosis, this
Wow.
beautiful rebuilding. Johnny Morris came in with his vision, his eye for design, and turned it into what it is today. And so now we're a 350,000 square foot facility with over 1.5 miles of educational experiences for our guests.
Well, Mike, thank you so much, buddy. It's always a pleasure to see you. This facility it's next level. I think it's the best aquarium in the country, hands down.
Oh, thank you
And
so much.
Giving me the behind the scenes tour and all the special access. I appreciate it,
Hey,
man.
we love it when you come to visit, but it's not a free experience. We've got to get a little bit of labor out of you.
What are you? Oh, you putting me to
So,
work? Are
that's
you?
right.
Putting me to work.
It's time,
okay.
it's time to do a little bit of aquaristing.
Okay, I gotta scrub
gonna
some
head this
tanks.
way.
Let's go scrub some tanks.